I went to Mexico a couple of weeks ago, and that was a poor country. And when I went to Arlington, I saw that we have poor communities in our country. And I really think that God has called us to reach the poor communities instead of the poor countries. The very first day, we only had one guy in our group, me and Kyle, and this one kid. The kid had a terrible background, and he accepted Jesus. We led him in the sinner's prayer. And then throughout the week, he invited more and more and more and more friends to the point we had like 7 or 8 kids give their life to Jesus. And it was really, really cool. One thing God really opened my eyes up to is how we really need to focus on the children and focus on the states, because in here, the children, they're world changers, and they're world changers, they're trendsetters, they're just like the next generation, and we need to prepare them for winning souls. So.
God really brought me out of my comfort zone in Arlington. My biggest thing is like approaching people. So like my job was to take attendance and basically, get their name and like where they're from and stuff like that, and just like having like a conversation with someone I don't know is like super hard for me, and that was my job. Like attendance is the smallest thing, but like it's like really big for me because it's like the toughest thing for me is to just start up a conversation with someone I don't know. So God really brought me out of my comfort zone in Arlington.
God has opened my heart up to people that are broke, to people that are lost, and just be more bold, He's never put me in a situation that I could reach someone. And that's one thing this mission trip helped me with, is just reaching people. What he spoke to me to do, I did it this week, and it helped. When school starts, I'm gonna go to my school and ask the principal and all that if I can do a Bible study, because I just feel like our schools, every school in our community right now, they're all lost. Even us, we're lost, but we found Jesus. Jesus is our key. It's the key to open a door, and I pray that when I do this Bible study, I can share the key that I have to other people, that they can open the door and get out of their darkness and enter the light.
I think that this mission trip really just spoke to me in so many ways, because being able to see that, there are people that are in this world, or that are in this country even, that they don't even know Jesus. There was, for example, there was one specific student we had talked to. His name was Javier. Javier had never heard of Jesus before. He had never heard of the Bible or anything like that. So being able to share with them Jesus and share with them that there is a true Father, that there's a Father out there who wants to love and adore him in every single way possible. He came from a broken home, and Javier had no answer to that, to his brokenness, because he had never even heard of Jesus before. So being able to share with them Jesus and share with them that there's a Savior out there, that there's a Father out there who adores him and desires to love him, I think that was a true amazing experience for me personally, because just being able to bring light into his darkness from what I've learned was just something so amazing and heartwarming for me.
One thing I realized when going to Mission Arlington is how many kids didn't know Christ or knew who God was. And so it was just an amazing experience telling them about who God was for the first time, and just mentioning stories about David and Goliath, and realizing just seeing the expressions on their faces, and telling them about how God was with David the whole entire time. And I'm glad I could have the opportunity to speak to these kids and let them know about Jesus and God for the first time of their lives.
One thing I learned from Mission Arlington is that there is bad and corrupted things all around us, and kids are hurting, whether that is in Africa or Mexico or our backyard. And so there are bad apartment complexes, and there are terrible homes that these kids are living in, whether that's in Arlington where we were, or it's in Yukon, sadly. But I learned that even in Texas, there are people hurting, and I learned that we need to show them the love of Jesus, and we need to go out and do the Great Commission, because that's who it is for. We are for the Great Commission. What I've been really praying about is that if God really wants me to tell people about Jesus, I want to be ready for that, and I want to be able to lose all my friends so that somebody can come to know Jesus. And I want to be able to be the casted out kid in my high school so people can come to know Jesus.
These kids didn't know who Jesus was. They didn't know who prayer or what prayer was or who Jesus was, and they didn't know anything. And it inspired me to tell my school friends about Jesus, because obviously they probably are just like the Mission Arlington kids that didn't know anything. So that's what inspired me.
One of the things that Mission Arlington taught me is when we went to the VBS is that the kids didn't know who God was in prayer, and they were asking us all these things and that they had never heard. And so it was really neat just getting to explain who God was and what prayer was, and just being able to talk to them about things that they had never heard before. And just seeing their lives changed as we were there, and the things that they're going to go on to do. And we gave them Bibles and stuff, and they were really excited for that, and it was really awesome.
During Mission Arlington, I learned the importance of dying to myself and letting go of my pride and being able to share my testimony, even if it is uncomfortable or, I'm afraid, because these kids are put in, a position where their families, they don't care to see a change in their kids. They don't encourage their kids to be better. And so some of these kids, they want to change, but they're afraid that they can't. And just to be able to tell them, hey, I did it, you can too, is just something that God told me. You need to do that, and just really to die to myself. So
a lot of times at Mission Arlington, we kind of felt discouraged and like not a lot was happening because a big radical change wouldn't happen in the kids. But we had to take the focus off of ourselves and realize that there is change happening in those kids. Like one little girl, Malaya, who came the next day and brought us a note telling us thank you for teaching her that God will always love her, and teaching her new songs and like just having fun with her. And so it kind of brought a good memory to us and know that things are happening even when we don't feel like it's a big change to us.
Mission Arlington was the first mission trip I'd ever been on, and I knew what we were going for, but I never truly understood kind of what was behind it, and what the situations were, and the people that we were ministering to, the kids. And I was walking this, I think she was about 14, but her name was Carly. We were walking her back to her apartment, me and Malachi, and I was just talking to her about church, and she had mentioned to me that she had gone to that church, and I asked her if her family had went, and she told me that her brother used to go, but now he's in a gang. And I was like, wow, you would never think that if her brother is 13 that he'd be in a gang. And that really just touched me, because it's we really are ministering to these people regardless if we're just going out there to do vacation Bible school. These kids are in broken homes. It's true. Yes, it might just be apartments, but there really is broken homes. And I think that we shouldn't be discouraged, and just honestly just want to thrive more to do stuff like that, to reach people, because those people need it, those homes need it. But it was awesome to be able to do what we did this week, and just try to minister to these kids that just don't know Jesus. And we definitely are blessed and highly favored for what we have, and it's awesome.
Honestly, we're super excited about what God is doing in Discovery Students, especially through missions. We feel like this is kind of a new season in Discovery Students and a part of our culture. I'm so proud of every single student that went on this missions trip. Why are we telling you this? Why are we giving you this video? It's to challenge every person that associates themselves with Discovery Students. The Christianity is not for you and about you, but it's for you so that you can impact the people that are around you, and so that we can all build the kingdom. We had an incredible summer, but we are looking forward to building on this momentum and seeing God do incredible new heights and incredible things in our students. So we love you. Glad you're here. God bless.